Hello everybody, this is Barbie. I'm here today to do a bit of a craft along with me, possibly, depending on how I get to moving along here. And also someone had asked, I believe it was Roz, had asked if I could show a little bit more of the ephemera I've gotten going here. So that's what we're gonna kind of work on right at the moment. Let me bring these others out first. This is what I was working on yesterday. And I guess I should have done a video on it, but to tell you the truth, I was just playing around and it just sort of happened. It's like, that's what happens, it just happens. So they're fairly straightforward and simple. I think everybody knows how to do these. You just take little bits of lace and fabric and glue. I don't glue them together, I stitch them, as you can see. Just do a little zigzag stitch across it. And I did stitch most of the butterflies on too with a zigzag stitch, but I first made the little snippets and kind of threw them all together. So that's, I'll show everybody kind of a close-up. I don't know if that's if it's, yeah, you can see them a little bit better like that. I'll stand it up till I can get them. Again, it's just a bunch of little pieces of fabric thrown together, but they make lovely tops for tags or page. Put them on your page for decoration or for tabs. I love this blue butterfly. It really turned out pretty. Actually, it's a moth, I think. That's some of the lace, new lace I got. And that I made into a little decorative paper clip. So you can put it on a page. Okay, so that's what I did with that. And let me show you some papers I got. Let's see here. Now what I was saying is, like, so I know most of you do this, so it's not a big deal, but they look so pretty on a page. See the little butterfly, the little bird flying. Of course it wouldn't go on this page because that's pink, but anyhow, that's the idea. So this is from Screech Owl Studio, and I believe it's called Shabby Rose. I will put the links down below. So if anybody's interested in going over, I just love everything she does. It'd probably blow my computer up, but I'd like to have every one of her digis, but you know, that's a little bit overboard, I suppose. So what I did on this page here, when I printed these out, I had just installed a new yellow and a yellow ink cartridge, and all of a sudden it started printing like kind of orangey looking print, and I didn't know what I was going to do because I didn't want to, you know, throw it away. Well, I'll show you that in a bit. I didn't want to throw this away because one side was good, but the other side was yuck. So I had some, it's handmade paper is what it is, but it's kind of thin. So I thought, well, I'll just use my glue stick and put it on there. So that's what I did. And then I had these beautiful, out of this book. I'm sure a lot of you I've seen have this particular book. And as you can see, I've taken the cover off, so I don't know what it's called, but it's just really beautiful. It's beautiful on both sides. And I just can't bring myself to cover up one side. So I was trying to figure out what I could do. So what I came up with is, a lot of people like put it in the middle here and turn it this way, and then, you know, but still you're not seeing the whole picture. And I didn't want to cover up any of the picture, basically. So what I did is I decided I would glue this little descriptive thing, this little description right here. I folded it and I glued it on the other side of the page and made a little pocket out of it. And then I decorated that print with some chiffon, I believe it is, that I had. and just put some flowers and some washi tape, as you can see underneath. Made a base. You can use washi tape, you can use whatever. In other words, make a little collage. And then I did a little, you can't hardly see it here, but it's a little gathered white piece of fabric that I scrunched up and used that as a bit of texture underneath. And then I had some really pretty little small type flowers I cut out and glued those on. And I wanted to get my little bee on and a butterfly, and then I put a little button on there. And here is just a really pretty little card. I don't know where I got it from, but I thought it went well in there and kind of broke up that busyness of that paper there, which is pretty in the background. And I will probably end up putting more underneath there. And also I need to cover the back, which I haven't done yet, but to give you an idea of what I've been doing with those particular little papers. And they also make pretty little envelopes as well, which I think I showed you last time. Now, on this page right here, I was playing around before I came on, and I have these leaves, and I wanted to get a bird on. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that little bird. It kind of looks like he's floating in the space there. So I'm going to put this leaves here and kind of connect this with this and mount my little bird. The only thing is I don't like is the little bird has orange on it. So I've changed my mind about that, but that's the idea. I'll have to find me a bird that's the good right size, but this is what I'm going to do when I find a bird. But again, like I say, I don't like it that he has the orange. And I didn't want to take up a bunch more time, so I'll just show you what I'm going to do there. Okay, so moving on. Next idea I had is, let me see here. These papers, these Screech Owl papers go really well. Here's some more of them. I'm going to just show you a few of them. They're just gorgeous. Again, I did the same thing because I had the same problem. Or you can use it. I think this I just, no, I didn't. This is I'm gonna leave this separate, I think. And just leave it like so is what I'm thinking. But this is white, so I'll end up putting something here. I don't know what yet. Then here is this is a graphic fairy, I believe. Black and white butterfly. I put it on vellum. I don't know the name of the kit, but anyhow, it's on the Premium Graphic Fairy site. This is a My Porch Prints, which I've had since I first started, probably a year ago. I just love it. It's got the neutral on one side and the color on the other is how I printed it out. These are some of my tea-dyed papers I used, I've had for a good while. And I used stencils. When I was tea dyeing, I put my stencils in there, and I never clean off my stencils because they have this wonderful paint on there. So the paint then comes off almost like a shadow print, which makes really, it ties in with, you know, whatever color you want, whatever page you want to put it next to, which I like. Again, that's just some more of my, no, that's a digital. I don't know where I got that from. I like the calmness of this print intermixed in with this print because there's a lot of color here. So I think the color here really complements and keeps it from being too busy. Again, that's just a little tea-dyed doily. Again, same thing. This is a print, digital print. I believe it's Tailor Made Journals. I can't remember for sure, but I think it is. Her tea-dyed, doily tea-dyed, or her lace tea-dyed papers. So these, what I was thinking on this, just to give you a thought, a window into what I was thinking, I wanted to print on both sides like so because I didn't like the white glaring at me. So I thought to myself, you know, this will make a good background to then take something else, let's say, whatever. I don't know if I have anything right here. let's just say I wanted to put that, that's one of my paintings. Let's say I wanted to put that in there and make it into a pocket or something. When you see this around the edges, it allows it to blend in without it being stark white, and you don't have to worry about putting another piece of paper on there. Especially if you start adding stuff to your journals, then it starts getting bulky. And especially if I put something like this thick watercolor paper on there, or did a pocket or something that had something thick in there, it just saves some bulkiness, if I can talk, in your journals. So that's what I have come up with on that. As you can see, this is her, I believe it's a garden called English Garden. I can't remember for sure, but anyhow, like I said, it's Screech Owl Studio. It goes so perfect with, let me show you. Look at that. I mean, they just look like they came from the same, and they did, but it gives you a whole different flavor. And again, this is from, I don't know which one, but it's just perfect. This was from another kit. I think that was a Tracy Fox. I can't remember, but I'd already made this page and I thought it went well, so I'm thinking about putting that in there right now. It's just a tea-dyed card. It has some lines on the back and a date, so you can journal on it. Just to give you an idea of how I'm putting this journal together. I just love that. It's just beautiful. And each page, what I do is, with making my decisions, each page is like a new canvas for me. I don't think about anything that I've done other than staying within the range of, let's say this is English countryside. This is what I'm calling it, English countryside. That means it's a wide enough range that I can put in garden objects, flowers, bugs, butterflies, birds, countryside, anything you see in the English countryside, the sheep, the cows, you name it. So to me, that just leaves my palette open so I can incorporate whatever this page says to me when I get ready to put it together. Whatever it tells me it wants to be, I've got all of these things I have pulled together to tell that story that I want to tell. And that's kind of how I see it. And I love putting in these transparencies. I just think they're just gorgeous to lay on top of, and it just gives a different dimension of, you know, I think the whole thing, for me anyhow, when I'm wanting to make a journal, the whole idea and the whole concept that I'm trying to come to is I want it to tell a story. I want it to be, the subject to be broad enough that that allows me to expand and give some interest, such as countryside. I want to add people, photos of people during that time period, whatever time period that is, such as maybe the 1800s, 1900s, back in the English countryside. And so when I get that wide range of thought, then it allows me to be totally creative, which is what I enjoy doing. Anyhow, enough of that. So again, I'm going to use these pages, at least one probably, in each number. I'm brain dead, you know what I'm saying, group of papers. I'll think of that in a minute. Probably basically in this way. Now see, right here you can see through and see that print. I don't like that. So the way I put it on here and the way this paper is transparent, semi-transparent, you can see that. So with that thought in mind, I would probably come up with something that is going to disguise that in some way. And as of now, I haven't thought about it. So whether it's a piece of fabric that I might use or whatever. I might put a pocket right there, see? But again, I don't want to put anything too bulky like that right there, because you see what happens. So you got to think about that part too. So that would not be a good thing to put there, but I'll come up with something. Here's something else I did. And here's the other, this is the English garden, I believe it is. I can't remember. But anyhow, there's 3 different kits I've used in here of hers, as well as my porch prints, the other flowers I'm going to use. And so I'm going to intersperse them. I haven't decided how I'm going to do it yet exactly, but I want to kind of blend it all together, so to speak. Here's some beautiful prints I got out of one of the books I have. Okay, now also I've got these really, let me pull these books out because somebody will want to know where those came from. All right, let's see if I can work this out. Part of it came from the Gordon Bedingfield poems of the countryside. And again, it's just English. It's English to the core, you know. It's just some beautiful, beautiful paintings. Look at that one. I mean, I have to use that one. It's hard to make a decision. And look at that. You know, which one can I use? Oh, I want to use them all. You know, oh my goodness, look at this with the sheep. Now, you see the colors in here, how this is sort of different on colors, but with some blues in the adjoining page, that would just be gorgeous. And the fact is, you know, look, you've got a painting on both sides. Well, now, how can you choose which painting, you know, you want to show? Well, so I'm sorry, I'll have to, oh, let me show you this. It's Poems of the Countryside, pictures by Gordon Bedingfield, Beningfield. I didn't pay much for the book, you know. Just search online, you can find it. And let me see. I've got some of these tore out, and this came from this book right here. Victorian Flower Gardens, Andrew Clayton Payne. Let you look at it so you can write it down or hold it or whatever. This has some gorgeous English paintings of gardens, houses, children, you name it. Look at that. So on this one, I'm going to have to make some decisions on how I'm going to use it. So let me show you. I think it's in this group of pictures. Well, I'll just go through this real quick because I don't know where it's at, which one it's in, but I want to show you what I did. Okay, now this one here I just folded like normal so that you could see it on one side and then the other. It's a paper bag I want to put in there, and I chose these. Somehow I'm going to use these to reflect the blue. And blue and orange, of course, is really good, pretty together because orange is a complementary color of blue. Some butterflies. This helps stabilize my page, makes it a little bit thicker, so that's why I like to do that. Again, there's some more of my tea dyeing and stencils. I just think that's so simple but beautiful. And these poems that it has, I mean, I don't know this book that she got it from, but it's just a beautiful book. Paper bag, there's the other side. And you still get the benefit of seeing the whole picture. It's not in that one. This was another idea. I had these little journaling booklets, and I thought it went well with this, everything I was using in this particular journal. So it depends on how fluffy it gets, but if need be, I mean, if I can, I will probably, not on this page, but I will probably just take it and slip it over the top of a page and maybe use a paper clip or something to clip it on. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm just putting that there for right now. Okay. I think this one I already showed you. Yeah, I showed you that one. Okay. This one. I think I showed you that last time. But what I wanted to show you was how I had used this other painting. Not in that one. I was playing here with using some lace. I like that effect. And I probably will do a little bit of this off and on throughout each of... I still can't think of that word. Somebody tell me, quick. You know what I'm saying? Okay, here's another one of those I did with the pretty little flower. I hope I'm in frame. Yeah, close. That's not what I want to show you here. Oh, that was one of the little bags I used, the glassine bags. Just decorated it a little bit on the outside. And I put in my Breakfast at Tiffany print of my painting. And that's one of the collages I did with a digital collage. So I wanted to cover the back with something. And also did some collaging underneath. Okay. This is it. I may have showed it to you the other day. This was a print that I wanted to be able to see the whole print. And I didn't want to bend it. So I was able to fold it and then do some collaging here. Put a little butterfly on there, some fabric underneath. And then again inside, here's some of the, it tells all about it. So I wanted to leave that. And then just, you could see this painting then, and I put that one, which is a Mrs. Coggs, I believe. I don't know which kit. And this one, I can't remember, but it's an iris flower package. Kit, rather. Anyhow, that's what I wanted to show you, how I addressed using some of these in a folding pattern so that you could enjoy the painting. That's another one of my paintings called Bluebirds. I'm glad I found a place to use these because they're just sitting here at the house and I couldn't figure out how I could utilize them. So that's my game plan. Okay, here's some more of those I just tore out of the book. I'm not going to go through them all, but they're just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So on some of these, they're so pretty, I'm going to have to find a way to fold them so I can see the whole in this little bitty small book, because the book, the journal is only like a 5x7. So it's a bit of a challenge to figure out how to utilize them in that small a space. But I'll get it, I'll get it. Okay. Now, oh, one other thing I wanted to show you. This right here, I've had this for a while, and I cut it out of one of my nature books, and I don't know which one. But it's just beautiful the way that this is put together. So I wanted to figure out how I could attach it to the inside of my book. So I'm thinking that what I'm going to do is, now I may change my mind between now and the time I talk to you next. But this is what I'm thinking. I'm going to put my little tea-dyed doily in there, and then I'm going to attach that like so, because both sides are good. So then when I fold it, I'm not going to fold it all the way because I don't want to bend it yet. Then when I fold it, you'll be able to see it on both sides, is what I'm thinking. Now, right here's what happened in my printer. And it's not that it's a bad color, but it's pretty peachy. And it just sort of doesn't go with the pinks as much as I think it should. Although this one's not bad. And I may leave this the way it is because I kind of like it. It depends on if I can find a place in my book that would allow it to match, in other words, or to at least pick up the colors. So that's my idea on that. Now, onward. This is my little ephemera box that I'll show you real quick. These are some of my paintings, my original watercolors, and what I did is I just took them and cut them up and made them into tags and different things. Here's where I used one of the little snippets that I made. In the back, I had painted both on the front and the back of this paper, so it has a painting on both sides. And then this is glued on up there, so that allows the tag then to clip onto a page. I think I glued it on. Yeah, it's glued on. Okay, here's another one I did. So it has the painting on the front and the back. So on this one, I don't know what I'll use it for yet, but that's something I have in my little box. Here is a little tag I made, which I had saw on one of the channels, I don't know, but anyhow, you have a tag on the front and on the back, or a picture, or whatever you want to use. And then you hide your paper clip in the middle, and you just glue it across the top. And there's tutorials out there for that. Don't ask me who I saw it, but it's out there. I really like it because it's got, you know, you can see it from both sides that way. I did a collage on this envelope, and again, this is some of the florals I was telling you about the other day that I had folded and made into envelopes. And I wanted it to be a little stronger, so I collaged on one side, the printed side, and I used my punch. I have a square punch. Never can remember the size of it. It's basically a 2x2 punch, square punch. And I used that. I didn't put any of the, what do you call it, acetate in there because I didn't think it was necessary. And I'd already stitched it up. I think I'd already stitched it. I can't remember anyhow. There was some reason I didn't put it in there. Probably had moved forward too far to do it. So anyhow, after I collaged it all, I wanted to add a bit of flowers, etc. to it, so that's what I did. Then I had this little piece that I had cut off of something, and it just looked like a little flower box or something, so I put that on there. Then I made a card to go in there, and these are some of the, I believe it's tailor-made, but I'm not sure. I've got quite a few packages or kits rather, like this. So I kind of get confused as to whose it is. There's a lot of beautiful kits out there. So this one is a seed packet, an old seed packet, which it's just beautiful. I mean, just beautiful by itself. And I see I tore it a little bit there, so I need to put a little Tracy Fox tag or something there. So I just added a little bit of embellishment, the butterfly, and this is one of the little circle punches I had. I thought it looked good there, and it's a little what I call my Carol tabs. Carol with the Oak House journals. This is going to be her book. She ordered it. Oh, in the back, I covered it with one of my papers. I don't know which one. And this little tag is perfect for something like this because it's small, and you can get it where, you know, it's right inside and it doesn't interfere with the closing of the envelope, which I thought was cool. And this is one of my new field notes from Tim Holtz. I just love that kit, that stamping group. You can do just about anything with it as far as labeling goes, numbers, stamps, etc. And I put that on some tea-dyed fabric I had. I thought it looked good there. Okay, here's some more. These are the prints I was telling you about. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I just pulled out several of those so I'd have them available. This is some more of that particular kit. And you see how that came out orangey looking? Because the yellow wasn't coming out correctly. And I don't like that. So, in another kit that was grungier and that didn't have this particular soft pink, it would be fine. But that's not the case here. So again, I'm gonna cover it probably like that. Another one of my little taggies. I'll decide if I want to put a topper on there, if I want to put a ribbon in there, what I want to do at a later date. This is something that I thought came out real cute. Again, it's another one of Screech Owl's Studios little cards, and it's like a farm print. It's just some beautiful prints. I mean, I don't know where she got all these beautiful pictures from, but it's just gorgeous. So I made it into a little booklet. What I'm going to do with this probably is I will use it maybe, let's see, I might use it like so and like stitch it in to give some dimension to my pages. I could even put one here, maybe then stagger another one. I'll have to look into that and see. But my idea is I left the top open so I could, and I have got to back these with, this is some of the kit. I've got to back it with something, make it stronger. But my idea was then is to stick those into these little, so you've got a journaling card, and let it stick out at the top. And I may even do it to where it sticks out at the top of the journal. I haven't decided yet. That's my idea with that. So what I do is when I have an idea that hits me, I try to kind of put it all together and paper clip it so I don't lose my thought pattern, which is normally what happens. Okay, these I got out of one of my latest butterfly books. Let me see if I can grab that real quick for those who may want to know. It's really a beautiful book. Let me see. Yeah, it's called A Field Guide in Color to Butterflies and Moths. It has a lot of illustrations, and it's by Octopus. I think that's probably all you need to know on that one. And the good thing is that all of them are printed where the back isn't, you know, they don't double print them. So therefore you can utilize every one of these in a fussy cut manner or as a page in your journals. It's a really good book. The only gripe I have about it is most of the butterflies in here are some shade of brown. There isn't very many really colorful butterflies in here, or moths. You see there's a few like that, but they also have the full cycle, which I think is cool too. And you could actually, you know, fussy cut those out and use them separately. So there you go. I've pulled out a few already that has a bit more color in it. And I'm in the process of utilizing them. I thought these are all lined up really nice. I thought these would make really pretty tags. So I think that's what I'm going to do with these. Make these into tags, or I may make them into page edges. Like so. Or I could take them and, like I did the other butterflies, and cut them out around this edge, so to speak, and then, but leave this other edge solid. I could do it like that. Or I could take a piece of paper, just to give you some ideas. Well, this is hard to see on this because it's got something on it. But if I cut out these edges here and then mounted it on another piece of paper, because you wouldn't want those little edges sticking out when you're trying to put something in. But if you mounted it on, let's say, some brown cardstock or something. Here, this will work better than this. Like so. But this piece, of course, is the right size. Make sure I'm in frame. Then you've got this pretty cut here, but the card is backed, so then that gives you a nice place to put something in a pocket or a slide or something. Or it'd make a good belly band. I may do it as a belly band. Who knows? I don't know. It's just trying to give you some ideas of what my thought pattern is on that. And then here's some more of the little pages I was telling you about in my last video. And that what I'm going to do with these, like I had said before, is I'm going to find a piece of paper, probably tea-dyed paper, and cover it first. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. This I showed you last time, and I realized after I looked back at the video, I just showed you this and stopped. I'm sorry about that. I was really tired. And I had made one video and it didn't come out. I hadn't hit the right button, so yeah, I was frustrated. So anyhow, these, I love these papers. These are from Lorna at Tailor Made Journals, and I printed these off. I showed you her papers in the last video, so I won't do that in this one. But I've got stuff blowing around over here. But they're just gorgeous, just beautiful, and they print off really good. I have noticed that, and I won't say who because that would not be nice, but some of the digis I have downloaded, they're not crisp. They have been downloaded like at a large, like 1300 pixels and 2300 pixels, so they're real grainy. They don't look good. But her digis are, and that is not, that's unusual. I've only found one or two that has happened to. So, and I'm sure they probably are new at it and just you just haven't realized yet that they need to make sure, you know, of their pixels and everything, and make sure it's like 300 or is a good size, but whatever. I'm not trying to bash anybody. I'm just saying that that's something you need to think about when you download digitals, to make sure that the 300 DPI is a really good, clear digital download. Anyhow, hers look like the original papers. I mean, even the white on here, and I don't know if you can even see or not, but the white on here just almost looks dimensional. It looks like it's painted on. They're really good digitals. Excuse me. So I made this into a little pocket, I think, like I showed before, and I'm not going to take out everything. I need to move on. And this is where I use, for those that may not have seen my last video, I'll go ahead and show you. These are little index cards of some sort, or I guess you would call them dividers, alphabet dividers. They're real strong. I don't even know where I got them from, probably Walmart. And I didn't know what to do with them, so I made them into, I'm using them like so. I did cut off the top on this one because I wanted it to look like a file folder, but you don't have to. And I put fabric on both sides, but as you can see, they're just beautiful papers. And I made a little, this is another one of the Field Notes stamps on fabric. Flip that on there, and then again I pulled out these papers to make them, to see which ones all went together but was different. I love the eclectic look of it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize these in my book somehow, but I haven't decided exactly exactly how I'm going to do it, but that'll be something for the future. Again, I found some of these I had printed out. I'm going to utilize these in some little pockets. Another one of those little papers. This is the envelope, which I showed in my last video, but I'll go ahead and run through it real quick for those maybe that haven't seen the last video. It's a simple process here. This was a Wendy's Journal Adventure tutorial where she had used fabric, and I'm sure other people probably have, but that's where I got my ideas from Wendy. The way she does her journals and everything is just, I just love her style. So I put the fabric across there and made my little, I don't know what you call those little round things, but you know. Again, on this one, this was the first one I did, and this is the fabric makes it strong enough, but I don't really like the flimsiness of it because the fabric is not very stiff. So I think what I'm going to do is, I've already put let me get this out real quick. Use some Edith Holden to cover the one, and I made sure when I cut it that it goes down in there far enough that the little tab can be used to pull it out, but it doesn't interfere with the closing of the envelope. So I did have to cut this one down a bit. Anyhow, so I covered it both sides with the same piece of paper and did a little stamping. And this was real flimsy, and so I took a piece of my paper that I had stashed and just stuck it in there to make it stronger. But it needs another piece of paper here, so I'm going to take something, or I'm going to collage it. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do to make it a little bit stronger, is my thought. And again, closure is just simple. Wrap it around, and I use some embroidery twine or thread. I'm going to probably put something on the end of that. These are just some more little pieces that I have found I'm going to probably use. And again, here's this fold thing that I was telling you about. And this one, because I like the little poem in there and I want to be able to keep the poem, I'm probably going to decorate both of these and use it like almost like a tag, I'm thinking. Haven't decided yet on that one. Just some of my stash I have, but it says garden seeds, so that's probably going to be used. This again is some of my stash that I made an envelope from my Porch Prints paper, and it's just got a little, I think it's from the same kit, I'm not sure. Anyhow, I made a little closure there. It says cherish each day. All right, and here's some more. These came with the kit, and I wanted to put a little bit of something there. So simple. And that flips up like so, and that opens up. And again, you have a little, English country scene for a little journaling card in there. And that goes in like so, and this shuts down and flips like that, and then on the back here you can journal, make a little saying, say whatever, I don't know. I just thought it was a fun way to get that little bunny in there. I wanted to get that bunny in there, I thought. Okay, here's another idea I had with that same kit, like so. Started out like this, and I just took two pieces of the paper, which I had printed in a smaller, I don't remember if it was 3x5. Looks like a 3x5. No, it's a 4x6. I printed in a 4x6 format, and then I sewed it together, so I made little pockets. So it's from that same kit. And then I made this little journaling booklet out of it. And this is an old watch face that I found I wanted to use. And there's a button underneath. And I did that so that it would raise up this little tie so that it would be easy to wrap the string around it. Made a little collage. And then, again, make sure I had the inside looking the way I wanted it. Put some little papers in there. And this also has the top is opened, so I will put some tags in there as well. But I thought it made a really functional and cute way to do a journaling card. And then I have my little star that I put in there like so. Again, this is something I had done not long ago, and I believe it's Stamperia papers. Anyhow, I was working in my stash. And this is one of the cool buttons that I found. The way it's made, you don't see the how you stitch it together. There's two little holes in the back, and you go through the same middle hole, and then you hit the other two holes. Anyhow, it's really cool the way the button's made. I like to wrap it like that. Anyhow, just did some collaging, little bees, birds, and put some of my scrap paper in there. I made a little journaling book in it. Nothing that unusual, but I thought it turned out cute. So like I said, I like to wrap it like so, and then come back down and go back around, and then wrap it like so, and then come back down, and then finish it up. You don't have to do it like that, but that's the way I do it. Okay, let's see if there's anything else interesting. That's nothing. This I had made. I may use it in here. It's just an envelope that I lined. That's some graphic 45 paper, I believe. I don't know who that is there, but anyhow. And again, it's the same little journaling, but I made a holder for it. And I don't know if I'll use this or not. It's pretty bulky. So I'll have to make that decision when the time comes, but I thought it would go good with this particular journal. Okay, I think I'm about through. This is I'm not going to use this, but I thought it's so cool. This is Carol with Oak House Journals. She does all these folds, and I don't know. I thought to myself, I've got to try it, but it's really cool. It opens up like so. It's a journaling spot. This was just a test. And then when you fold it back, it all folds back together. And then you can put it in a pocket or whatever. I may make some of those just because it's for her. Or not. I may not. Who knows? Okay, I think that's just about all of the goodies I have. I hope that has been informative, or at least answer some questions. I do have one more thing I wanted to tell you, if I can find it here real quick. I got some copy paper, which I had heard about online, and it's really thick. What it is, it's made in India. It's really thick. A watercolor paper is what it is. But I wanted to take this paper, and I may paint on it. I haven't decided for sure how I'm going to do it, but I want to mount it. Let me see if I can find something here real quick. I could just use maybe this. I want to mount it like so. And I want to stitch around it. And it gives a layered effect. And I thought it was a really neat idea. That's my idea anyhow. So we'll see what's to come on that one. And okay, I think that's just about it. We were going to do some craft along with me, but I've got some errands I've got to run, and I just wanted to be sure I could come back and show you what I've got done so far. And probably maybe next time I will do a craft along. Most of the stuff I do is kind of repetitive. It's just the thought process really that is, in my opinion, is more important. Is how you think about putting your journal together, and what your motivation is, and what different subjects that you want, like embellishments, you want to put in there, and kind of just organizing it all together, and giving yourself some selection of things that you might want to have ready at hand. Have a bunch of fuzzy cut things. Okay, I'll show you this real quick. I say I'm going, but just a minute. Hopefully this won't be too long. Here is some beautiful butterflies I want to use in the journal somehow that I did a fussy cuts on. I mean, just that on a page alone is just, you're done. That's it. And there's all different ways you can attach them, of course. And then I've got some other beautiful florals that I've cut, fussy cut, that are just outstanding. And it would just make a page, you know. And so that's my, that's my thought. Here's little beautiful birds. I got to do some more bird cutouts. And look at that. And doilies. This is Roxy Creations, I believe. I believe these are Sarah's doilies. I can't remember which kit this is, but I think it is. I also have some of Gail Gostinelli. I have some of her doilies as well. And I just sat down and cut them out one afternoon. And see, here's the page from the butterfly book. And you can see how you can, cut around it. Now this one isn't as straightforward as some of them, but some of them are just so straightforward that you can just cut around it. And this is Bird of Paradise. This is going to make a beautiful page accent as well. Anyhow, dot. I need to cut out some smaller birds. I need to find my bird book and get busy on that. But there's only so much time in the day, and sometimes you have to do some other things too, unfortunately. So I hope y'all are having a fun day. I hope you don't have to run errands like me. And just keep on crafting. Enjoy each day you have and make the best of it. Until next time, this is Barbie. Bye.